Oh, look at this. This is a typical breakfast sandwich at a McDonald's or a fast food place. This looks like eggs. They include the premium egg blend. But look at what it's filled with. A solvent that's used in soap and shaving cream. This is according to the Huffington Post, a study they did in 2013. It goes on for 5 pages. It studies what they found in fast food. It's got an unpronounceable silicon found in silly putty, this silly little breakfast that we're eating, and calcium silicate, which is found in roofs and concrete. That's in your breakfast drink. Your breakfast drink. Actually, the photo looks so attractive and appealing, right? But it includes all of this. It's not even real food.
You mean like the McDonald's or Egg McMuffin?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's something.
And here's a fresh salad. They're dusted. They look like that. Well, that's a healthy option, right? It's dusted with propylene glycol, found in antifreeze and sexual lubricants. And we all need that in our salad, right? So I'm only picking 2. I actually had about 5 or 6. I've taken them out over the times to save time. They actually sprinkle things on them.
Makes it look better.
It makes it more appealing, but it's completely poisonous.
You should keep some salad by your nightstand. It's about sexual.
Yeah, really. Now let's talk a little bit about what we call the industrial meat industry, the industrial meat, poultry, fish, chicken industry. These, now particularly diets in high in red meat, are linked to heart disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, stroke, and obesity. We've all heard that. But red meat from animals that are grass-fed, extremely healthy for you. So the difference is animals that have been fed all these and kept in ghastly conditions or are grass-fed, night and day difference. That has not been photoshopped. That is a real animal that has, however, been raised on grain instead of corn and soy instead of grass-fed, and it is full, obviously, of fungus and higher cholesterol, and it obviously has hormones been given to it that has caused malignant and tumor growth. I had some other pictures that I took out. They are too gross to show you, but you can do your research on the internet. These animals, like our pigs and our chickens, are kept in inhumane conditions at all times. They're often standing in their feces. The pigs don't even have room to sit down or lie down, and they're kept that way their whole life until they have to go off to slaughter. Because of the conditions that they're in, 80% of the antibiotics used in this country are used on livestock to keep them from being completely sick, to accommodate overcrowded, unsanitary conditions, and also to fatten them. But 60% of American deaths a year are because of antibiotic-resistant disease. So these animals are totally shot up with antibiotics so that they don't die before they get to the slaughterhouse. We consume that food and we become resistant to antibiotics because they are full of antibiotics. The other thing that happens is corn and soy that they are fed with corn and soy are kept in silos in this country, in America, not in other countries, but in America, these giant silos, they get filled with fungus over the time. When they become so filled with fungus that it's no longer fit for human consumption, we give them to the animals to eat. The animals are eating food that's full of fungus, we consume that, we get fungus, and a short time later, presto, we got cancer. Another thing to consider, you saw this on 60 Minutes on March just this year. We caught this and thought this has got to go into our seminar. You've all heard of lumber liquidators. They've just laid down laminate flooring installed annually, 100 million square feet. 60 Minutes found formaldehyde levels 20 times higher than approved by the EPA. And EPA confirmed that these were polluted indoor conditions. These floors are used in all kinds of commercials about this is the wood floor that you want when you rip up your carpet, so it's safe for your children and your pets and everybody to sort of crawl around on them. Well, they're not. These are long-term exposure. Look at all the risks of cancer, chronic respiratory conditions. Hello, lung cancer again. Nothing to do with smoking, but lung cancer, changes in lung function, and asthma. Do you know asthma is on the rise, and people don't know what it is, what causes it? Well, it might be the pollutants in our environment, simply in our own home. This is the floor. What about our couch? These aren't things we think about, but they're covered in flame retardants, which incidentally make fires more toxic, should there be a fire. But U.S. children and adults in America, in their bloodstream, have higher levels of this flame retardant than anywhere else in the world, simply by sitting in their living room, watching television and playing in their homes. If you bought the wrong kind of sofa, look at the list of things that these retardants can lead to. Infertility, pregnancy, all this impact on young children particularly that are developing, obesity, lower IQ, and autism. You know, there's a lot of things, people are trying to figure out what is causing autism. This may be one of the causes, is these toxic elements that are on our indoor furniture. Here we talk about biphenol and bisphenol A, which is BPA. It's a chemical used in plastic production. It also does canned foods. And it is an endocrine disruptor. It can imitate our body's own hormones. And obviously children who are developing are much more vulnerable. I want you to just look at all of the diseases, all of the conditions that BPA causes, and these are all of the official studies that the universities have done around the world, including the United States, Yale, etc., Brigham and Wisconsin, in Boston, that all of the impacts that biphenol, BPA has. And by the way, when you buy water in a plastic bottle, some of the bottles will indicate if they have BPA on them, and you say don't touch them if they do, obviously. Much better for you to walk around with a glass container of water or a steel canteen like that than plastic. So lots of trouble there. So we're wondering how is it that people are getting so sick? Again, it's the toxins in our environment. And floor cleaners, dishwasher, clothing detergents, and all of that, read the labels very carefully and careful what you breathe in because they're highly toxic. Microwaves. Who here works with microwaves a lot and uses them? Beware. Now here are all the studies that have been done. American studies, German, Russian, Japanese. They say carcinogens are formed from microwaving all of these following foods: milk, grains, frozen fruits, raw cooked or frozen vegetables, increased cholesterol is a problem, decreased numbers of red blood cells, decreased availability of vitamin B, vitamin C, and E. Essentially, it strips you of essential vitamins and nutrients from cooking in the microwave. We don't have it we have it in our house. We use it to put the cat food in it. We don't use microwaves anymore. Not to heat it, just to store it. And so it's something that it sounds very convenient. Instead, we have a little infrared oven that heats everything up very safely. It takes a little longer, but we know we're not getting our food stripped of nutrients when we use it. So don't use your microwave. Replace it with something a little healthier.
That's the food you buy to use microwave. You're supposed to microwave it, not cook it. But that's the food you buy at Trader Joe's. It's supposed to microwave.
And we don't touch it now. We don't touch it. Personal care products, more relevant to some of us than others. We're exposed to over 127 chemicals a day. The U.S. government doesn't require health studies on these kinds of products, right? So what's happening is all these silicone ingredients, petroleum bark products, chemical fragrances, we're consuming and putting right into our skin dozens and dozens of gallons of toxins. So there's more than 500 products that are banned in American products. They're banned in Europe, Canada, and Japan. This is makeup. This is true for men, by the way, for shaving cream and things like that too. It's not just for women. So these potentially affect the hormone system, the liver, and the colon. So these are things, again, you can get organic, believe it or not, non-toxic makeup, which is a great choice and a great way to go. So here's our digestive system. You know, sometimes doctors will say, oh, we don't need our gallbladder, we'll just take it out. You know, you don't need that very much. Our little pancreas over here, oh, it's just a tiny little organ, we'll just cut it out. It's okay, it's a little bit, it's been full of toxins now. These things, God designed them, they're essential. The pancreas creates all of the enzymes that we need to digest our food. So suddenly when you get pancreatic cancer, that means that your poor body has been so impacted by toxins that it can no longer function and producing the digestive enzymes that you need. If you're not producing digestive enzymes, you're not digesting. So you could be eating the best food in the world, you're not absorbing the nutrients because these can't do their job anymore. Look at this giant organ here called the liver. The liver is where we filter everything. So when the liver gets clogged and impacted through abuse of how we treat our body, this cannot function anymore. So your blood is contaminated, you're not getting the oxygen you need in your system, and all kinds of other complications erupt. This is our large intestine, this is our small intestine. It is probably all about 5 feet long. 85% of disease starts in the colon, so that's where we want to focus our beginning our healing process, is getting this whole section of our body giving it what it needs, cleansing it out, detoxifying it, and beginning to give it what it needs to regain its balance. 30 feet surface area of a football field. That's how much is in our little tummies there. The cell lining renews every 4 days. So to your point, Nikki, so if you do a little bit, even if you don't do like 100% of all the integrative, no, even if you do a little bit, because your cells are constantly regenerating, even if the small improvements will help your body to begin to cleanse and get better. We consume 100 tons of food a year, and this whole area is controlled by enzymes and bacteria. So 10% they say is good, 10% is bad, and 80% are opportunists. So you want the opportunists to actually be doing the good stuff and not the bad stuff. Your body will work with you. An unhealthy colon is the center of 85% of all disease because the colon absorbs the food, it also eliminates waste. So it's home to good bacteria. It's also home to bad bacteria because congestion can lead to auto-intoxication. So we have to be careful what we give our colon so that we cannot make ourselves sick. So the consequences of an overloaded toxic system is that our immune system cannot function as it should. And our immune system actually lives in the colon more than any other place. And so we want to get all of those and then all of the other organs to begin to detoxify and function. When our immune system is suppressed, we don't have what it takes to fight off disease, and the body can succumb to cancer or other chronic conditions, diabetes, Parkinson's. We have a pastor here who unfortunately is moving to Naples, Florida. We tried to get his testimony on tape. He didn't have time for us to get the testimony, but he completely healed himself of Parkinson's, which is
rheumatoid
arthritis. I'm sorry, serious stuff. People on the medical establishment gives people serious medicine, and they say it's uncurable. You can just manage pain. It's just pain management. He completely healed himself with all of these natural integrative therapies, rheumatoid arthritis. So there is time for some good news.